Hey Shaker Makers, it's Demo Donna here with Queen & Company, and welcome if you are new to our channel. Thanks for popping on over to the Queen & Company YouTube channel to check out our videos. Every week we put out a demo video showing you a fun use for one of our amazing die sets or shaker card kits. So this week I'm actually diving into foundation die number 9 and all the beautiful flowers and greenery available in this kit. I'm also going to be using the new Gerber Daisy embellishments, which are beautiful. And then I am doing the trick again, showing the foam and acetate. So here is the card that we are going to be making today, inspired by pretty much everyone I follow on Instagram is making these lovely rainbow cards right now, and they're just so beautiful that I had to hop on board too. And Marianne did some wonderful rainbow cards, very inspiring. So we are going to make this one right here, and all of the descriptions for all of the products that I'm using are in the link below, so you can click on those and it will take you right to that product. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy. I wanted to go ahead and show you how I cut out all of my flowers, because I wanted you to know that you can get about 22 or even more if you're really fine-tuning your space per 6x6 sheet. So I don't have a magnetic plate anymore. When I received my awesome fold away, I have the standard plate here versus the magnetic, and I've been using a magnetic plate for probably over 10 years. And what happens, I don't know if when they get a little bit older, but they it sometimes takes a while to lay out your die because the magnetic force underneath kind of moves them around. So I no longer have to deal with that, which is quite nice. You just set your dies right on your plate. And then for those of you worried about your dies overlapping, you can absolutely put some washi tape or removable tape over your dies. What I make sure I do, first of all, my top plate is transparent. And then when I go to insert it, I apply pressure. I really hold this down tight so my dies don't move. And I also make sure I'm watching as I'm running this through my die cut machine to make sure that nothing overlaps, because your die will cut another die if that happens. And of course, I'm speaking from experience because I have had a die go over another die and cut into it, and you don't want that to happen because then you ruin your die, unfortunately. So now that I've got my flowers, I have enough space for at least 2 more on here. Maybe if I did this right. No, probably just 1. So that's fine. I'll just cut out 1 extra one. And you do want to remove all of your die cuts before you run this in again, because if I were to run that through with my flowers sitting on my plate still, it is going to flatten out their really cute little stitching effect. Again, speaking from experience, it does go faster if you do that, so if that really doesn't bother you, that's fine. And then same with the leaves. You're able to cut out all of the leaves and the beautiful little sprigs, at least 2 sets of them per 6x6. So to get started on this card, after you've cut out all of your flowers, and just to keep ahead of myself, I cut out a full 6x6 sheet of each flower in each color. And most of these are from the Beach Bound Solids. These top 4, the red, orange, yellow, green, and blue, are from Beach Bound Solids. And the pink and the purple are from the Fruit Stand Solids. So that's where I got all of these really beautiful colors from to make this lovely rainbow collection. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing an A2 card. So to start, I am going to take this sheet of cardstock, and this is a 3x3/4 by 5 inches. And I've also cut the same size out of my Gerber sheets, and the Gerbers come in a 4-pack, and these are 6x6 sheets, so it's really great. And I cut again 3 3/4 by 5. So there is a plastic side and a matte side. I want to pick off the papery background, so this side. So you can peel the backing off of either side, but I found if you peel off the paper piece and save this, because you can use this in the future for putting any adhesive on it and it's not going to stick. So like when I'm doing a whole bunch of flowers and I want to add the adhesive to them and then just grab and go, I use these sheets to hold on to those. Like any bling or anything, you could just assemble that there. So now that I've got my sheet here, I'm just going to go ahead and layer it. And if it's off a little bit, it's okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and layer that right on top of my 3 3/4 by 5-inch piece of cardstock. And then what you're going to do is simply take your scissors, and I'm just going to cut right through that plastic lining and just peel that off. And you do need a little help. Fingernails do not work in your best interest here, so a little craft pick really helps. Okay, so now I have a completely sticky piece of 3.5 by 5 cardstock. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start layering on my flowers. And I'm going to start with my red, and I'm going to go over my corners. So when I cut this out using my foundation die, I'm actually going to be cutting out 1/4 inch past my current size. So when you layer, you want your flowers hanging over your edge like this. And you can always add more adhesive if you need to, as long as your paper flower is touching some of the Gerber sheet, you're good to go. And I am doing a full layer, making sure I cover up all the white. And I'm going to finish up the red and do the orange. Now we have red and orange, and I'm going to continue on down the row until I completely fill up my paper with the layering. I'm going to add in the yellow, the green, throw in some of the beautiful blue, the purple, and of course finish off with some pink. Now that I have all of my flowers adhered with a great overlapping on the sides, I'm going to run it through my die cut machine, and I am using foundation die number 3, and this is a great size for layering. And what this part does of the technique is it actually is going to also help me glue all of my flowers onto my Gerber dot. So if you didn't push that hard while you were assembling these, this is now doing our work for us and gluing down your flowers. So pop this guy out, and now we have a really cool and still layered. And there you go, some really cool straight edges, and then you've also got some of the more organic edges, which is going to have a really neat effect on your card. I'm going to be using the foam from the foam and acetate sheets. This is double-sided adhesive foam, and I've just got a piece of black cardstock, and I'm just going to layer the 2 pieces. And then I'm going to cut a size big enough for my word die that I will be cutting out. Now, the cool thing about this technique is you no longer have to find an adhesive to glue all of your tiny little letters on your card, and it also pops it up for you. So it's pretty much a double feature, which is awesome. So I'm just going to take off one side of the adhesive and layer my cardstock on, just like that. And now I'm going to go ahead and run this through the die cut machine. So now that I have ran this through the die cut machine, I'm going to pop my die off. Make sure you retrieve your dot for your eye. So I'm going to go ahead and actually just adhere it right here to that Gerber backing sheet. So you're going to want to remove the entire backing first. And then what you're going to want to do to remove the pieces that don't belong is push them out towards the cardstock. That way they don't stick back onto the adhesive. I found that's a much easier way to remove them. Now that I have all of my little bits removed, I'm gonna just gently pull out my Miss You. And I'm just applying pressure, and I'm gonna go ahead and get my eye dot. And then I'm gonna pop out the U. And it is sticky, so I'm really trying not to touch the, oh, that worked nice. Fold that over. I'll have to try that from the future from now on. That was nice and easy. Okay, so now we're gonna do a Miss You, and you guys can see how nice and fun that just pops up. It's dimensional. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to, now these flowers are just adhered where my Gerber sheets were. So I'm just going to add a little dimension by just popping some of these petals up. And that's what's really cool about just adhering them in those rows, because they're not fully glued down, where if you actually added adhesive to the back of your flowers, then they would all be glued down. Okay, so now that I have got that beautiful pop of dimension by just going around and picking up different petals that weren't adhered, so really easy way to just add a really fun extra pop to this card. I'm now going to be adding the new Gerber Daisy embellishments, and they're so beautiful. They're nice and thick. To adhere your flowers, I have found that this sheer glue works really great. So I'm simply going to add a couple small drops of the sheer glue to the back of my flower. And you definitely want to give this some time to dry. So don't go fiddling with your card right away. Let that dry. So I push down, apply a little pressure, and I'm going to repeat to the rest of my flowers. All right, so now that my flowers are adhered, and I decided to go with only 5 flowers for this one. So obviously you could play around, see if you want to use all the colors or just add a couple to make it pop. The last thing we're gonna do is just add some of these really cool pearls. I'm gonna probably just use the black, but you can also go in with the actual pearl color too, which will be really fun. And all right, there you go. There is your card. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much, and comment below if you have any questions. Bye-bye.